Who am I? What would you say if someone asked you that question today? We spend so much of our time trying to work out the answer to that simple question. It's quite hard, isn't it? Who am I? Well, my name's Paul. I live in Dorchester. I work as a Christian minister and I have 3 children. Did you know, does that really tell you who I am? What if I said, well, I like walking, I like cycling, I like beer and red wine and nice food. But does that really tell you any more about who I am? And you know, the answer to that question can be quite important, because if I don't know who I am, then it's hard to also know what I stand for, what I believe in. Therefore, knowing who I am can be critical to helping me get through this life. And I think we usually answer that question, who am I, based on 3 things. The first is this: I am what I do. I'm a doctor, I'm a shop assistant, I'm a ditch digger. And you know, we even assign value to those things, don't we? Do you know, we're more important and more impressed when we meet a doctor than when we meet a ditch digger. Some jobs give people status. The second factor is this: I am what I have. For some reason, we think that what we have makes us something. Material things like cars, a big house, plenty of money in the bank and nice clothes. And we often think of success as getting more of these things. But the satisfaction's temporary. No matter how much we get, we still want more. And every step of the way, we hope others will notice the cool stuff that we've got. The third thing is this: I am what people say about me. We tend, don't we, to believe what others say about us. And this is a hard one, because however much we try, and we don't want that to be the case, it kind of is, isn't it? People say all sorts of things to us, and sometimes those are positive things, and it's great when they are. But you know, sadly, sometimes they are negative things. And even though we tend to believe the good things, and there can be many, many compliments, someone's only got to give us one negative comment, and all of those positive things are just undone in that moment. It can hit us to the very core of our being, especially when those comments come from someone that we respect and someone that is close to us. You've only got to think about the effect that things like Facebook and social media have had on so many people's lives, because we listen to what they say and we look at their lives and compare ourselves to them. I am what I do, I am what I have, and I am what people say about me. But I want to suggest that there's a problem with those ideas, and the problem is simply this: they are all lies. They are a deception that is meant to keep us from realising who we really are. They're temptations, if you like. They're the same temptations that Satan offered Jesus in the wilderness. We read the account in Matthew 4. Let me just read it to you now. Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. And the tempter came to him and he said, "If you are the Son of God, then tell these stones to become bread." Jesus answered, "It is written, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him to the holy city, and he had him stand on the highest point of the temple. "If you're the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Jesus answered him, "It is also written, do not put your Lord your God to the test." Again the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendour. "All this I'll give you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." Jesus said to him, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Then the devil left him, and angels came and attended to him. This passage speaks, I believe, to all those things that we use to define ourselves. Do something. Change the stones to bread. Show yourself to be the Messiah by doing what you want instead of what God wants. I am what I do. Satan promised him all the earth's kingdom and property if Jesus would just worship him. I am what I have. And Satan brought Jesus up to the roof of the temple and said, "Jump off. The angels will carry and protect you." And then the people will say all these wonderful things about you. I am what people say about me. Over the next few weeks, our theme is going to be, who am I? And we're going to feature each week a different person and a different story from the Bible, starting next week with David. But let me start by telling you that you are not what you do. You are not what you have, and you are not what people say about you. But I don't want to just tell you who you are not. Let me leave you with some scriptures that tell you something about who you are. Ephesians 2:10 says we are God's handiwork. John 15:15, Jesus says, I have called you friends. Romans 8:28 says we have a purpose. And John 15:16 says we are chosen. Jeremiah 1:15 says we are known and set apart. And Colossians 3:1-4 gives us some great advice to remind us that we are not what we do, we're not what we have, and we are not what people say. Let me finish this little introduction by reading it for you. Since then you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on the things above, not earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will be with him in glory.